Welcome friends, welcome back to the kitchen, welcome back to Sunday morning the Old Cookbook Show. Today we're going to do another recipe out of this cookbook, Recipes, Soothsayer Flour, bakes everything right at your grocer. This is not a traditional type of cookbook. This cookbook is for a recipe club. And so the company, Soothsayer Flour, sent you this duotang, and then every month or 2 months, they would send you new pages to put in with brand new recipes. Most of the recipes in here are from the late 30s, 36, 37, 38. Very interesting book. There are a lot of interesting recipes in here, and there's a lot of recipes at the back handwritten where the person who at one point has owned this book has put lined pages in just with their own recipes. Today we're going to do something called vinegar cookies. Not something I've ever come across before. I don't know how this is going to turn out. Very interested to see. I mean, I've had cookies in the past with buttermilk in them, and that the acid in the buttermilk tends to change the texture of the cookie. In this instance, there's also baking soda in here. So the vinegar is going to activate the baking soda and cause some sort of rise. But I think, just looking at my calculations, there's more vinegar in the recipe than is needed to activate this amount of baking soda. So I'm gonna say the vinegar is also there for something else. Maybe a little bit of flavor, maybe a little bit of okay, so it's fall here. My butter is really cold. It's not softening very well. I'm gonna throw in the sugars. So we've got brown sugar and white sugar, and I'm just gonna keep beating that and creaming it together. It'll soften up. This mixer needs a teardown. I know exactly what I need to do. I just need to find the time to do it. The head's loose and it just bounces around. I'll get to it. Anyway, a couple of eggs. So crack those in one at a time. And the second egg, in that goes. While the mixer is mixing away, I'm going to mix the soda into the flour. It says to sift it, but not strictly necessary. Okay, that's good. Now I need 2 tablespoons of vinegar. I know. Sit it flat on the counter. Bend down. 2 tablespoons of vinegar. Okay, so in goes the vinegar. That'll mix in fairly quickly. Now we just spoon the flour in a little bit at a time. Okay, the mixer is struggling, and I've still got flour to put in. So I'm going to move on to the extracts. Get a little liquid in there. So, carefully measured vanilla. And extra carefully measured almond extract. Okay, I'm going to have to tear down that mixer before I use it again. Now, the recipe says that it makes 80 cookies. You're supposed to put them into a ball. So I'm going to use this ice cream scoop, scoop it little balls, and then crush them down with a fork. Kind of like a peanut butter cookie, I guess. And the thing I find interesting is it's not that long ago in cookbooks where you see multiple spellings for the word cookie. Today we would spell it C-O-O-K-I-E, cookie. In this time period and earlier, you're more likely to see C-O-O-K-Y, cookie. And in this recipe, it spells it both ways, which is something that I find kind of interesting. It's in that transition point. I think today, if you wrote cookie, C-O-O-K-Y, people would lambaste you for spelling it incorrectly. Kind of like potato with an E on the end. Very popular spelling of potato with an E on the end in a much earlier time period. Language changes, spelling changes, grammar changes, and you can't stop the march forward of the English language. Though lots of people do try to stop English from moving forward. Okay. Crush with a fork. And of course, when you do this at home, you'll have a little glass of water and you'll dip your fork in. That keeps the cookie dough from sticking to the fork. Makes the whole operation easier. As you can see, I'm doing that between every cookie. Oven is preheated at 350 degrees, and we're going to cook these for about 10 minutes. Hey, Jules.
Hey, Glenn. Hey, friends, it's time for cookies.
Cookies.
I'm always in. They look like peanut butter.
They do look like peanut butter. They have a similar appearance.
You're saying they're not peanut butter?
They're not.
Oh, they don't tear like peanut butter.
No.
They're very... All right. That's a nice little cookie.
That is a nice cookie. Okay. So texture-wise, it's not like a chocolate chip cookie. It's not like a peanut butter cookie.
No.
It's very crispy on all of the, like on the top and on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
But it's almost shortbread-like in the middle.
Almost.
Almost, but it's got that sandy kind of texture.
Mm-hmm.
Really nice almond flavor. I measured that perfectly.
Okay. I'm going with based on experience and that look. He didn't measure, did he?
No, you just pour it in.
Uh-huh.
Just pour it in. But I apparently poured in just the right amount.
It's a good amount. I really like it.
The texture is really cool.
So is there something in particular that
You
makes...
can't taste the vinegar.
No.
You would never know there was vinegar in this.
Do you think that's what... Is that the acid that just... Like, what does that acid bring to it in this case?
So there's baking soda in it.
Okay. But it's... I mean...
So that the acid is activating the baking soda to give some lift. But there was more vinegar than was needed to activate the baking soda. So the baking soda gave a little bit of lift, and I think the rest of the vinegar, the acid in that vinegar, gave the crumb texture to this.
Maybe. Because, the baking soda does more than just bubble and froth.
Yeah. Part of the whole browning process is from the baking soda as well.
Okay, I'm trying really hard here. I'm going to hold my hands tight so that I don't eat any more of them now.
So these are a winner. This is courtesy of Mrs. Oscar Keely, Princeton, Missouri. Maybe you know who that is. Thank you very much for sending that recipe in the 1930s to this cookbook. Give these a try. Put them on your list. I think these are a great cookie. Thanks for stopping by. See you again soon.
I think it would go really well with some orange in it.
Yes. A little orange extract. Maybe instead of the vanilla that I put in the orange and the almond. Those would probably go very well together.
How many did this make? Because
It says
having just...
it says 80.
80?
I mean, there's a whole tray here frozen. So once these are frozen...
I didn't look at the recipe. How much is in that? Oh my god. Wow. They must have had a very big family.
6, 8, 10, 12.
Or they only
14,
did this once every so
18,
often.
22, 4, 6, 8, 10, 32, 4, 6, 8, 40.
Plus these. So you got a good 50.
Maybe 50 cookies. Maybe 50 24 size cookies. As soon as these are frozen solid, I'll take them off, put them in an airtight container, and then I will bake them from frozen.
There's 4.5 cups of flour in it.
Yeah.
Huh.
So
There you go. We got cookies for
Yeah.
quite a few weeks now.
Yeah.
That's great. I'll just keep stacking these, get them ready for the tin.